Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired!
We have breaking news tonight in the war between Donald Trump and the NFL.
There is an unmistakable racial element to this story.
It's hard to ignore the racial component here. The president went on this jag on Friday night in front of a largely white audience.
That is racism. You cannot deny it. You cannot run for it. And I kneel in honor of that.
A lot of talk now about coded language. You think about what he said, disrespecting our heritage, we, to that largely white crowd. I think there's a lot of folks out there that look at this and say, what are you really trying to say here?
This feels like a culture war that's exploding right before our eyes.
Is he trying to wage something of a cultural war?
Not at all. The president's not talking about race. The president's talking about pride in our country. What you saw yesterday were players and fans of all races joining together as Americans to honor our service members. That's what the president's talking about. That's what his focus is on.
You're not going to find many voices of support outside his base, his extreme base for these remarks.
So we have a white supremacist president of the United States.
The president of the United States chose to pull the sheets off and reveal himself.
He thinks apparently that he is the slave master of black people in the NFL.
He wants us to be kneeling in the cotton fields again.
The idea that this doesn't have something to do with race is preposterous.
This country that he wants to make great again is all about making it white.
His whole thing is, when was America, make America great again? Now we see that 1817 is more likely when he's thinking about America being great, as opposed to us kneeling on behalf of righteousness and justice.
The national anthem is not a white supremacist symbol. And the president has become...
Some of the words of the national anthem are white supremacists.
You think the national anthem is racist?
I think this is a country whose history is racist.
The president of the United States came out attacking NFL players for them exercising the freedom of speech.
Because that's a total disrespect of our heritage. That's a total disrespect of everything that we stand for, okay? Everything that we stand for.
All right, Lisa, and as they take a knee collectively, boos can be heard from this sellout crowd in Arizona.
I'm not sure if our president understands those rights. That every American has the right to speak out and also to protest.
As a white father, having raised 3 boys, there were a million things to worry about on a daily basis. But it's impossible for me to truly understand the challenges that an African-American father faces at every turn while raising his children.
It's like you're at the 50-meter mark in a 100-meter dash. You got that kind of a lead, yes, because you were born white.
This idea that black people should be grateful is some sneaky-ass racism.
Trump continued, it is about respect for our country, flag and national anthem. NFL must respect this.
Dude, you're going after the NFL?
A lot of these players, they've got feelings, they've got emotions, they've got opinions, and many of the players I spoke to feel that their voice is not being heard. And more specifically, that the president's comments on Friday, particularly calling them SOBs, were a slap in their face. One of the things, though, about football is that it always has a way of kind of unifying us and pulling us together. We hope that this unity that spread throughout the league yesterday will spread throughout America in the weeks and months to come.
When people like yourselves turn on television and you see those people taking the knee when they're playing our great national anthem, the only thing you could do better is, if you see it, even if it's one player, leave the stadium. I guarantee things will stop. Things will stop. Just pick up and leave. Pick up and leave.
For all you people who just seem to not understand, let me clarify this for you, okay? It's not about the act of protesting. It's not about the act of believing in something and pursuing it. It's the way you're doing it.
The NFL players, all you assholes who are kneeling during the national anthem, let me explain something to you, because obviously you're too fucking stupid to get it. You're not getting your message out. It's not resonating with America. Your message is being lost because of the methods that you're taking to get your message out there.
I'm burning my jerseys. I'm not going to support the Dolphins anymore.
This is for America.
America!
Schultzen organized a Dolphins t-shirt burning in his Davie backyard.
You're talking about an anthem of hope and unity within this country that have made people become great, that have made the poor become rich and give people opportunities. You're just talking about a flag that represents hard work, dedication, blood, sweat, and tears. Sacrifice.
It's not about race. It's not about the fact that these players are black. It's about the fact that they are disrespecting America. That's the problem that I have. It's the problem that President Trump has. It's the problem that every American who loves this country has.
You know what this flag stands for to me? Every day, I wake up as an American knowing I can do better.
I take it really personal. So this is what I have to say to the NFL. And if I'm a commissioner in this room right now, I'd kick his fucking ass.
Let me explain something, you fucking overpaid morons who chase a ball down a field and think somehow you're God's gift to America if you speak. Nobody gives a fuck about your feelings. And nobody gives a shit about your message because you shit on everybody to get it out.
And the thing that makes me most upset is that you have these people who turn around and take a knee and want to attribute all the negativity to the flag and the anthem, but don't want to attribute the positive. Listen, if you feel that the American flag represents negativity and slavery and all this other stuff, then you have to give credit and credence to a flag that have given you an opportunity to go from cornfields and picking cotton to being the President of the United States of America.
You want to convince America that this is about social justice and the Constitution? Then maybe you ought to get off your butts and do something positive for the country that's allowed you to make a fortune.
Janine, there's a flag behind you. Have some fucking respect.
Are you ready for some racial tension?